But the one man that knows this firsthand is the star of Pawn Stars, Richard Harrison, or Rick. Rick, welcome to the show.
From haggling over history to facing a future behind bars, Rick Harrison and Chumlee have gotten themselves into an alleged scandal that could ruin their lives forever. The question everyone's asking is, what crime could have landed them in such deep trouble? Doesn't it sound ridiculous that the men who once provided us with amusing stories, hilarious banter, and the famous line, "Best I can do is," would spend the rest of their lives in prison? The internet has been buzzing, fueled by sensationalized stories. But beneath the surface of these shocking claims, what's the true story? For over a decade, these Pawn Stars have been a cultural phenomenon. The Harrison family and their amiable team have been invited into homes on countless occasions to display the fascinating world of history, collections, and occasionally with plain weird items. Rick, the discerning father figure with his extensive knowledge and straightforward demeanor, the aspirational son Corey learning the ropes, and then there's Chumlee, the endearing, frequently humorous, yet unexpectedly intelligent team member whose antics have come to always define the program. Their lives have become well known due to the fact that they appear to be openly discussed on TV. The world has also witnessed their business growth, personal achievements, and ups and downs. Therefore, it seems surreal that these men could be involved in something so terrible as to warrant a life sentence. The story began quietly on social media with cryptic comments on different platforms. Next followed the more audacious assertions, the stories with attention-grabbing headlines that promised to expose the startling reality. Naturally, though, not everything you read online is accurate. But let's sort the truth from fiction and find out what's actually happening with Rick Harrison and Chumlee. In order to comprehend the gravity of a life sentence, you've got to think about the type of offense that would result in such a harsh penalty. The most severe crimes in the U.S., such as murder, kidnapping, large-scale drug trafficking, and other horrible crimes, usually carry life sentences. The idea of Rick or Chumlee being involved in anything of that size seems completely out of character with the personas they've so far clung to, which makes this issue even more intriguing. So, where did these rumors even originate from? Sensational stories like these frequently result from miscommunications, incorrect interpretations of legal matters, or even outright fabrications, as was the case in 2016 when Chumlee was taken into custody after his home was searched in connection with a sexual assault investigation. Police charged him with felony weapons charges and drug possession after discovering marijuana, methamphetamine, Xanax, and many firearms during the search. Later, he entered a guilty plea to a misdemeanor charge of attempted narcotics possession and a felony weapons charge. Counseling and probation were part of the plea agreement, and the sexual assault case was not prosecuted. The source of all these stories may also result from times when celebrities, particularly those who have been in the spotlight for a long time, have become the focus of rumors and conjecture. Rick has come under fire for openly expressing his political beliefs and endorsing Republican candidates. He's already received criticism for remarks he made about transgender restroom regulations. That also, a small legal matter exaggerated can easily turn into something wholly false. Regarding the ownership of the pawn store and the other family assets, Rick was sued by his mother, Joan, in 2022. After her spouse passed away, she said he had wrongfully assumed control of company interest and ceased paying her as agreed. You know, the internet can be a great source of information, but it can also serve as a platform for the spread of false information. So how do you know what's true and what's not? Now, focusing on Rick Harrison and Chumlee, have they ever been involved in any real legal troubles or disputes before? Yes, but then it's important to verify between proven facts and half-baked news. There aren't many significant criminal convictions or ongoing trials that would imply anything approaching a life sentence, according to Google searches about these guys. However, as was previously mentioned, Chumlee has previously dealt with some legal troubles as a result of an arrest in 2016 for possession of drugs and guns. Nevertheless, a plea agreement settled this issue and he was spared any serious jail time and certainly not a life sentence. It is possible that this episode served as a twisted seed from which these inflated stories grew. For the most part, Rick Harrison's public persona has remained that of not only a wise but modest businessman, but an informed history buff. There hasn't been any reliable information of any criminal behavior that would put him in danger of receiving a life sentence, even if he surely encountered the typical difficulties of managing a company and negotiating the complications of celebrity. Therefore, why are these life sentence allegations so persistent if there's no hard proof of any serious offenses or convictions? The strength of sensationalism and people's preoccupation with dramatic storytelling are probably the answers. But compared to an accurate report that claims everything is normal, a frightening headline has a much higher chance of attracting clicks and views. Furthermore, it's also difficult to distinguish between the public and private spheres due to the nature of reality TV. When scandalous rumors surface, we may react more strongly because we feel as though we know these people well. And that's because there's a powerful emotional connection created by the thought of something so fundamentally altering the lives of people we've been watching for years. While Rick and Chumlee may have been caught in the web of these rumors, how do you handle misinformation? Let's take a step back and exercise critical thought. Does it seem reasonable that two people who have established a profitable, long-running business and television program would suddenly become embroiled in crimes serious enough to carry a life sentence? While anything's possible, the probability based on available information seems incredibly low. Being a discriminating information consumer is essential, particularly when using the internet. Consider the source before you believe a startling headline. Does the news outlet have a solid track record of fact-checking, or does it have a reputation for sensationalism and unsubstantiated claims? Investigate more, seek supporting data, and steer clear of tales that appear to be intended only to provoke strong feelings. Given the dearth of reliable sources and supporting court documents, it's most likely that the alleged life sentences for Rick Harrison and Chumlee are rumors, most likely the result of a combination of the internet's desire for spectacular celebrity demise stories and the distortion of earlier, less serious legal troubles. Therefore, the reality as of 2025 seems to be far less startling than the headlines indicate. Though they may be a little perplexed by the wild rumors going around about them, Rick Harrison and Chumlee are probably still operating their pawn business, filming their show, and going about their daily lives. The ease with which false information can proliferate online and the propensity of some people to accept dramatic claims without question are the true scandals here, not the alleged transgressions of Rick and Chumlee. Therefore, it's safe to say, the next time you come across a headline that seems so ridiculous, stop, ask yourself, and investigate more. The truth is ultimately trustworthy, but it's frequently far less dramatic. What are your thoughts on this? What's your take on celebrity gossip and the spread of misinformation online? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.